Hello everyone, this is Ashish and today I am going to talk about how to crack BARC in metallurgy field. I am going to first talk about how to crack the written test of BARC, then I am going to talk about how to crack the interview. Now, I am a mechanical engineer. I cracked BARC in 2017 and I did go through 1 year training course of BARC, and during that course I have made a lot of friends from metallurgy background. One of them I talked to for over an hour about how to crack BARC in metallurgy field. He told me how to do it. He taught me how to exactly tell you guys how to make it easy for you. Okay, so I'm going to discuss exactly that. Right, so I understand that for metallurgy guys, BARC is probably the best job in this country. It has a perfect balance between ISC Bangalore and PSUs. ISC Bangalore, very good research but does not pay well. PSUs pays very well but does not have any research. BARC right in the middle. It pays well, it gives research, gives the proper job security. It's a central government job. You are going to get a gazetted officer post. So it's really a fight you can fight. Okay, it's very good, it's worth it. So I understand that for metallurgy people a big problem is that you have to do it in final year. Now there's not a system going on in metallurgy engineering like mechanical engineering and electrical engineering, like we people take a drop after our BTech, but you guys have to do it in final year. That's a problem, but it can be solved throughout your 4 years of your BTech. I understand that professors of most of the colleges are not that good. They do not teach much. So you have to be serious on your own. Now this guy who wants to be anonymous told me that he is not from an NIT, he is not from an IIT, but he's from a normal college, but he was very serious throughout his 4 years of his preparation. So he studied some standard books and based on that he cracked this BARC job in his final year. Right, so you can do it. It is very possible, but you have to be very serious. Now coming to the point, we have to start from the written test. That is the first stage. Now I understand that you might be knowing that BARC calls people for their interview through two passages. Number one, gate examination. Number two, it's online written test. Either one of you, if you qualify, you will be getting a call for the interview. So let's say your gate examination did not go that well. The BARC online written test is the second chance for you, and actually it is an examination which is much easier than gate examination. Two reasons for that. People whose gate examination went very well and got very good rank, they do not take this examination seriously, and also a lot of you guys have this mentality that this BARC interview is very tough, almost impossible for you to crack, and that is why a lot of you do not take written test seriously. Please eliminate that mentality that BARC interviews are very difficult. It is overhyped. That is what that guy said too, and that is why I know that too, because a lot of guys, majority of people in BARC interview gets rejected, and those are the majority who are going to talk to other people and they are going to say that it is a very difficult interview. But minorities do not actually are very active in social media. Until now I've cracked BARC, my friends have cracked BARC, and I'm telling you this, that this is actually very easy. It only focuses on basics. If you're good with the basics, you're going to crack this job. There's no problem with that, right? So coming back to the point, the written test, starting with the pattern. Pattern is very simple. There's going to be 100 questions, 3 marks per question, plus 3 if you get it right, minus 1 if you get it wrong, 0 if you do not attempt it. It is an online system obviously, and there will be a virtual calculator present. The question distribution will be like 50% theoretical, 50% numerical. Questions will be much lower than gate, and even sometimes this is only valid for metallurgy, that some of the questions from previous year gate questions are directly copy pasted into the online examination. Now this is the system. If you go through gate previous year questions 2 to 3 times, you will be easily able to attempt those questions in BARC online test just by looking at it. Use the advantage, use any advantage that you can get. Right, so this is one of the trick that he told me, the metallurgy guy told me, that is always valid. The written test is actually the easier part because the final selection ratio to the interview is 35:1. Do you understand? If 35 people are called into the interview room, only one is getting selected, right? So written test is easy part. The scientists know that, let them come to the interview, we will judge them in person. So that is why written test is easy, but you cannot take it lightly. If your gate examination went bad, take written test seriously, do the things that I told you to do. This is another thing that he told me, that throughout the examination you should not waste a lot of time. Time is very important. Over here you're going to get only 2 hours to attempt 100 questions, that is 120 minutes to attempt 100 questions, same gate level questions. So you have to understand that time is going to be an issue here. You are not going to get 3 minutes per question, it's more like 1 minute per question. So definitely I can guarantee that you cannot attempt 100 out of 100 questions. You have to attempt at max 75 to 80 questions. That will be sufficient for you to qualify this examination, because the cutoff is somewhere around 180 marks out of 300 marks. Right now 84 percentile is the cutoff, but percentile does not give you much idea of how much question you should be attempting. The marks does. So understand that you have to get somewhere around 180 marks. For that you have to attempt somewhere around 70 to 80 questions, right? And obviously you will make some mistakes, so at the end you are going to get somewhere around 180 marks, which will qualify you. He paid special attention to this one tip, that you should be attempting theoretical questions first. Any question that is involving a lot of calculation, you should leave it for later, mark it for review and come back at it later after 1.5 hours. So it will be the best way to go, because theoretical questions you can attempt within few seconds. Numerical it is going to take a lot of time, and numerical and theoretical question both are going to give you the same +3 marks. So obviously go for the theoretical questions first. How to prepare for it? I said it before, gate preparation is going to be sufficient. Please go through gate previous year questions again and again. It is definitely going to help. Now coming to the interview, how to prepare for the interview. Now interview system is very simple. Interview lasts for like 1 hour to 1.5 hours around, and it is going to be like 6 interview members are mostly there. There are 2 interview panels for metallurgy people. So this is the system. You enter over there, you are going to be given A4 size papers and a pencil. You have to make your solutions over there with paper and pencil. You will be given an eraser. If you make any mistakes, you can correct it. So I suggest you guys, when you practice for this interview, do it like this at your home too. It will give you good confidence in the interview room. Right now you enter the interview room, they are going to ask you what are your favorite subjects, but this is what he said, that the favorite subjects does not matter. They are going to basically ask questions from every subject. So you metallurgy guys have only like 7 to 8 major subjects. They are going to ask questions from all the subjects. So if you're going for this interview, prepare all the subjects. The major subjects are thermodynamics, physical metallurgy, mechanical metallurgy. So you are going to focus on these subjects. The selection ratio is 1:35. Number of people selected varies from 1 to 7, and it is difficult. People say it is difficult because a lot of people are not well prepared for this interview. That is why a lot of people are not getting selected. So if you prepare well, you're definitely going to make it through this interview. Now you must understand that these are scientists who are taking your interview. They have prepared and worked on their field, metallurgy, for 20 to 30 years. They have taken interviews for 10 to 15 years at least. So they are very much experienced. They already know what you're going to answer, and they already know where you're going to get stuck. Now what do I mean by this? You cannot attempt 100% of the questions in the interview. You will get stuck somewhere or the other. Do not even try to give 100% answers. They know where you're going to get stuck, but what they are trying to find out is how much you can think, when your knowledge has ended. What is your intelligence level? What is your logical mind thinking about new types of questions? That is what they are trying to find out. So during the preparation, you should also prepare like that always ask questions. Will I be able to answer this kind of questions? Go through some of the Quora previous year questions. Some of the previous year interview questions will be available in Quora. All the links will be down in the description. I found out 3 or 4 very good interview experiences. Some of them are even talking about strategy of how you should prepare. So go through them. Your seniors are kind enough to give their interview experience and their knowledge to you guys. Go through those will definitely help. And when you go through those interview experiences, interview questions, just see the questions, don't see the answer, and think about how you are going to attempt that question. Just think. You have to invest time in that. This is not a written test, this is the interview. You have to build your brain according to that. My God, speaking takes a lot of energy. But coming to the point, another important point that he mentioned was 80% of the questions will be based on what you say, what words you use, the way you attempt the question. That is how it's going to be. 20% of the questions are typed. They even repeat the interview questions, but it does not matter, because questions might be repeated. How you attempt will decide the follow-up question, and follow-up questions decide your selection, right? But still we are going to focus on those 20% of the questions which are repeated. Again, will be available in the Quora answers given by your seniors. Go through it, it will definitely help you. And coming to the 80% of the questions. Now 80% of the questions are decided by what you say, how you attempt the question. So use your words very carefully over here. And because any word you use which is technical will take you to that subject, it might, okay, but you can use it as an advantage too. If you are strong in some subject and you want to bring the interview in that direction, you can do it intentionally over here, because this guy who helped me make this video actually did it. For example, he was very strong in characterization and he was being asked a lot of questions from thermodynamics. Then he used this one term which I'm forgetting, order solute solution. I'm a mechanical engineer, you can understand, I do not remember all your terms, but he used this term and it brought this interview right in the direction of characterization, and there it lasted for the next 20 minutes. So he used it intentionally, his words, to bring the interview in his direction. This is the kind of intelligence that you can use too if you want to get selected in this job, right? So this is just one tip that is like commonly used in all the interviews. I've faced BARC interview, I've faced ISRO interview. You can use these kind of tricks to bring the interview in the direction that you want it to be. Like I said, some of the interview questions are repeated. For example, a question which is also in mechanical engineering, that when will the fatigue failure happen when the load is below the yield strength? These are just the kind of questions which will just start the interview, and then the interview will go in the direction you give the answer. Okay, so this is basically the kind of interview you are going to face, how to prepare for it. Whether you studied from NPTEL lectures or you studied from standard books, just revise that, go through it again. You cannot study anything new in just 1 or 2 months. Just focus on whatever you have studied, strengthen that a little bit more, and comment any doubts you have down in the comment section. I'll tell that guy from Metallurgy to just answer your questions, and that's it. You can contact me if you have any problem. The contact information is down in the description box, and if you want to learn how to speak English very well, here's the link, click on it. If you want to learn some more tips and tricks about BARC interview, watch the chemistry video, and that will definitely help you, because I've talked about a lot of common tips and tricks in chemistry video. You can follow that. Physics video is also available, mechanical is obviously available. You can go through that, and that's about it. I'll see all of you in the next one.